drafted him, you feel me? So, you know, the talent shows coming out of college, but Adam Vinatieri, man, clutch kicker, not even just in, you know, everybody talks about the Super Bowl, but the playoffs, you feel me? And I feel like that kick against the Raiders in the snow was obviously, I think possibly his toughest kick, you feel me? Just due to the inclement weather at the time, the moment right now, as which it was. So Adam Vinatieri, you know, the Tom Brady's, Bill Belichick's, Teddy Bruschi's, Todd Laws, the moments of the New England Patriots dynasties won't be complete without the Adam Vinatieri game-winning kick. So congratulations, Adam Vinatieri, to making the Hall of Fame. You talk about Mr. Do-It-All, run the ball and catch the ball at the backfield, make the guy miss and run the guy over. Man, Roger Craig was one of the hidden key factors to the Bill Walsh's West Coast offense, the fluidity of the Joe Montana's offense, Jerry Rice helping them, John Taylor, and then transition into the, you know, Steve Young. Running backs like Ricky Waters, you know, that soon came to the 49ers learning game. They learned, they had a similar play style that was bred by Roger Craig. Man, Roger Craig, man, stat man. I pulled up, you know, I put it on the table, whatever, man. Mr. 100 catches, top running back that had catches in the league, man. I was, one year was top 5 in the league, like receptions as a running back. This is during A's. You know what I'm saying? So Super Bowl champion, all pro, running back, pro bowler, now Hall of Fame running back Roger Craig. Congratulations, man. Next, who was it? Oh yeah, Luke Kuechly, man. Luke Kuechly, man. Mr. IQ on the defense for the Carolina Panthers, man. I know you had your era of Ray Lewis, then you had your Patrick Willis, and then sometimes people might not talk about Luke Kuechly, but how a dominant player Luke Kuechly was. Now, Luke Kuechly was a dominant player if you played against the Carolina Panthers defense. Carolina Panthers defense, you know, since the Cam Newton era, like, you know, legitimately was a defensive team. You know, I know people thank Cam Newton for what he did as a quarterback, but don't forget that defense was superb. That defense was top 5, and sometimes if not the best in the league. In a time that was competing with the Legion of Boom, that was competing with the no-fly zone. I feel like he's been in the Hall of Fame. But Larry Fitzgerald, man, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Carry the franchise on his back, man. Larry Fitzgerald, University of Pittsburgh wide receiver, college, you know, breaks the cover NCAA, Biletnikoff winner in college. So he was a herald of receiver coming out of college, you know what I'm saying? Was a definite boss, was a definite go-getter. But then to be drafted to Arizona Cardinals, so a desolate franchise, desolate organization, you know, he stayed there. He weathered the storm, you know, through all the bad quarterbacks, the bad years that he had. But the times that he was given a quarterback that was, you know, applicable to his game and able to show his best talent, he showed what he could do, man. If you remember the playoffs, man, if you can remember the playoffs back then, Larry Fitzgerald had one of the best runs in NFC, possibly NFL history from a wide receiver, man. Not only having a run in the NFC wild card, they had a run in the NFC divisional, then the NFC championship, then took the Steelers to the wire and almost, you know, won the game. You feel me? So Larry Fitzgerald, you know, ranks as one of the best receivers of all time, not only in stats, receptions, yards, touchdowns, consistent years of 1,000 yards, you know what I'm saying, 100 receptions. So Larry Fitzgerald is, inductee to the next Hall of Fame. Then, you feel me, to finish on off, we got Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees, Mr. 5,000 passing yards, Mr. New Orleans Saint, Mr. Who that said they're gonna beat them Saints. Hey, Drew Brees was efficient. Drew Brees was a competitor. Drew Brees was a definition of a franchise quarterback, man. If you remember, coming out of Purdue, he was drafted to San Diego, and you know he had his little problems. He had injuries. He had the competition of Phillip Rivers being drafted in the tier. He had an organization that low-key didn't want him. So Drew Brees not only took that as a challenge, but, you know, excelled into his second and third year prior to getting injured in San Diego. But then he makes his way to the Bayou. Drew Brees then joins the New Orleans Saints, but with a young coach, Sean Payton, after Hurricane Katrina, and lifts up the Lombardi Trophy for the New Orleans Saints. So, and Drew Brees not only does that, he continues to lead the Saints into playoff contention. He continues to lead Saints into the ways of possibly making Super Bowl. You know, it's been ways. You had the Stephon Diggs situation with the miraculous catch. You know, you had the Case Keenum coming in and beat them in the crib. You know, he had the no call against the Rams. You feel me? But Drew Brees was always a competitor. Drew Brees was always one of the best quarterbacks top of the league. It's a shame that he didn't win MVP, you know, even with all the miraculous numbers that he had. You feel me? So I think that's probably one of the biggest, you know, faults you probably could say out of Drew Brees' career, that he didn't have an MVP. But Drew Brees, you know, if it wasn't for him, the passing game would not be how it is today, with his ability to, you know, dissect the defense, take the 35, 40 passes and destroy your defense and make that a consistent game plan for a team. You feel me? So all the quarterbacks you see throwing 30, 45 passes a game, you know, he basically didn't. But in his modern day time, Drew Brees is that guy that most quarterbacks look up